What an amazing world we live in. Look at the technology that we have today, the way that it's been advancing just over the past couple of years. For instance, you can take a cell phone out of your pocket and at the tips of your fingers you have the World Wide Web, where you can send emails to friends all over the world, you can check the weather anywhere in the world. And another example is with video game systems. You can go to your own bedroom in New Jersey where you can play on your own game console against somebody in Hong Kong in their own bedroom. But just imagine that one day you're driving down the street and you see a sight that just seems really out of place. Is it a car of the future? No. You see a horse-drawn carriage going down the road, and it feels like you just went into the past, back into the 1800s. Where are you at? You're in an area where the Amish are residing. So today I'm going to be going over the Amish heritage, where they came from, where they're now living. I'm also going to go over some religious facts, and some interesting facts that other people didn't know. So let's get into that. So where did they come from? They came from the original religion of Mennonites, which started in Switzerland, and then there became a German following, which was followed by Jacob Ammon. People that followed him became Amish, so we're not going to get too much into the Swiss side of it. And his religion actually started in 1693. So we're going to move on to actually where they are now residing, and what part of the country and what parts of the world. So where do they reside? They reside in North America, between Canada and the U.S., and the three main states that they actually live in now is Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Indiana. The most are living in Pennsylvania right now, around Lancaster County, and there's about 44,000 that live in Pennsylvania, and there is 227,000 total from a 2008 consensus report that they did, and their actual community is growing on an average of 4% a year, so it is getting much bigger. Some of the information we found from there was in the Old Order Amish by Mr. Lucien Niemeyer. So now we're going to go on to some of the facts about the religion, stuff that people didn't know, some of the practices that they have to do. So let's go ahead and look at that. So first of all, Amish is a religion, it's not a race. People kind of confuse it sometimes. How do they go to church? They do not actually have a group together church where they meet up at a church. They have privatized churching where they actually go to like an elder's house in the community, hold their own private services, and if they do go to an actual church, it may be once every like 3 months. Some of that you can find that information like in The Riddle of the Amish by Donald Cable. And some of the things that they do different from us is you got their funerals. Funerals, they do not have funeral parlors. They hold it in their own houses, and instead of speaking about loved ones and stories that they had with them, they go over information such as reading out the Bible. They read scriptures such as resurrection, creation. They don't really grieve because they're actually happy that the person moved on to a better place. Also, they have their schoolhouses. Most of us, we go to school from kindergarten to 12th grade and then move on to college if we choose to. They stop at 8th grade and they either start working in the field with their parents with their boy, or they go to the kitchen, start helping out around the house to keep the men that are working fed and healthy. Another thing that people may have heard of but don't know a whole lot about is Rumspringa, and that is actually where an Amish boy and girl at the age of 16 has a choice where they want to become part of the Amish church, or they can separate and actually go back into a civilized area and live with all the modern necessities that we have today. With this, they don't really get like shunned or anything for enjoying vehicles, because this is where they get a taste of the outside world. But by the time they get to choose to go in there, they have to make the final decision. It's no turning back or anything. There's a very small percentage that do not choose to stay in there, but some actually do separate and try to come back at a later time. So with the information that I taught you today, I hope that you guys have a better understanding of where the Amish started at, where they come from, where they live at now, some of the facts about the religion, and some interesting facts that you didn't know before. So is there any questions? Yes, sir.
You said 227,000 Amish total, 48,000 of them in Pennsylvania.
Yes, sir.
How is that the biggest population?
That's the biggest population of the Amish sector. Right now there's 44,000 Amish actually in Pennsylvania, and there's 43,000 in the state of Ohio, and Indiana is the third largest with 33,000.
So then where is the other?
They're spread out over 22 different states, and they do move into
Canada.
So
those three.
That's the biggest actual community. They consider it a community, but that's the biggest state that has the most.
Gotcha.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Are there any black Amish people?
Funny that you asked me that. I researched it, and there is no actual born black Amish unless if they have actually, there's been a recorded case where a black family converted to becoming Amish and became accepted into a community in Indiana where, so the answer is yes, there's black Amish, but not naturally. Anybody else? Yes, sir, and I'll get to you.
You said that they stop school at 8th grade. At what age do they actually get married?
The age they get married, they can get married as early as 16 years old, and girls can be married a little bit earlier at the age of 14.
Oh, and do they just have one wife, or do they have several wives?
They have one wife, and the rule with getting married is you're not allowed to marry your first cousin, and it's frowned upon if you marry your second cousin. Yes, sir.
What is the reason for not keeping up with progression?
Well, behind the Amish religion, they actually believe on keeping themselves cultured, staying to their roots. So they do have some modern equipment, like for plowing their fields and stuff, but it's pulled with horses. So they do keep up with it, but it's the whole thing of electricity. They follow the Bible, and they feel that the Bible is like the guideline to their life, and it doesn't mention anything like that. Any others? Thank you for your time.